Hello everyone, it's Minoxen again, this time bringing you Oracle Expert Replay from Sparrow. Appreciate the replay, Sparrow. He did a really good job on this, and hopefully I'll do some commentary on it worth justice. He starts off here, he's going to summon in a pair of Windweavers, followed up by a Shaman, and then ultimately he's just going to be massing units here, so I'm going to be speeding it up. But he's going to have 6 Windweavers and 5 Shamans for the push on these towers. He's going to run into several groups here that come down these patrols, and he's just going to fight them off as they come down. He's careful to, I believe he's holding position with those Windweavers in that particular position they're in now, until he'll have to run up and kill those Shaman that step forward here. And then he'll replace his Windweavers back into place, and continue massing, before he's going to go south and go around that little pit of water there, I guess it is, and go from the southern part and take out the towers and then the spawning buildings. There he goes. Okay, now he's getting ready to go ahead and start. He's got his full group there, I believe. 6 Windweavers and 5 Shamans. He will lose one of them in this push, but really that's not too bad. And there it just died. He's going to bring in another one, though, to fill it in, so he will have 6 by the time he gets down here. There's an Ensnaring Roots to keep those melee units off of him. There was only one group of melee units, so I'm not sure if it would have made too big of a difference if it got to him or not, but no harm in going on the side of safety. He takes out the spawning buildings just about as quickly as he can, because it is amazing how many units spawn on this map. And one thing to note is that around your 6-minute mark, you run into the first bandit gunner, and the bandit gunner on this map can be taken over by a unit like Night Guard, but you don't want to let it get to that point to where you're running into those constantly, because I believe it's around the 11-minute or 14-minute mark or somewhere around there that each of these camps around there begins spawning multiple bandit gunners. He went and built his second orb, was the first thing that he built. He got Shadow. He's going in with Stones of Torment. He's sacrificing his Shamans here for the extra void power. Built a Furnace of Flesh there in the center, and if you're trying to reproduce this, I would probably be very careful in placing your Stone of Torments in the exact pattern that he has, because since they have a teleporting function, they will, what I like to call juggle a unit between them. They'll just jump them from one to the next, which kind of prevents them from attacking. And he does that on a couple of bandit gunners, or well, mini bandit gunners, as you will see. But he masses all of these towers here. There's the first bandit gunner at about the 6-minute mark. Well, that might have been that might have been a little bit later than 6 minutes. But he brings in the Embalmer Shrine, and I think he was doing that to get a little more effect from his Furnace of Flesh, because that's really the only corpse gathering unit he has. A breeding grounds, so he can summon in his army of Shadow Phoenixes. And he went with 6 here, but it looks like he went a little too light on that. He'll end up summoning total, I believe, 8 or 9 of these Shadow Phoenixes. And they just about get the job entirely done here, but not quite. So he should have waited just a little bit longer and gone ahead and summoned in some more. But I'm sure that he probably ran into charge upgrade issues there. 2 of his Phoenixes come back, and then unfortunately that shield that the Bandit Sorceress threw on there ate up one of his Phoenixes. And then he goes ahead and uses the last of his Phoenix to almost kill that Bandit Tower. Unfortunately, it didn't quite do it. He'll bring one more in there, and he's going to fly it around the long way. Oh, no, that wasn't the one. That was one of them that he burnt. But the next one, he's going to fly around to that tower, and he's going to get 2 birds with 1 stone. He's going to draw those, I believe they're Banditos. I think they're the melee unit. No, they're ranged. They're commandos. He's going to draw the commandos over, and then he's going to take out this tower, also taking out the commandos. And then he's going to try a couple times here. He's going to pull out a Windweaver to try and run down there and get those power wells, but just doesn't have the HP for it, so he's going to bring in a Shaman, and the Shaman makes it. It gets all the way down there, and then he'll destroy his old breeding grounds, and he will summon a new one in down here, And this strategy uses a lot of orb swapping. He's going to change out. He starts out with this nature and shadow, but he's going to change that out before too long. Up there we go. He's gone ahead and destroyed his shadow orb, and now he's going to be rebuilding a fire orb so he can have fire drakes. And he'll bring in the fire drakes. And quite a few Windweavers as well. And at the end of this big fight here, as he takes his third orb, I think he only ends up with one of his Windweavers alive in the end. So it was good to mass as many units as he did get. Those Bandit Sorceresses are a real pain. Ensnaring Roots again to keep those melee units. This is definitely a good time for it because there are several melee units in that group. He casts a couple of Ray of Lights, I believe it's called, and he uses Surge of Light a lot in this deck as well. There was one just then. He uses Curse of Oink, a little crowd control to keep that Bandit Gunner and what other units are in there out of the fight. Then he's going to go ahead and focus fire on those guys once he's gotten the unit spawners out of the way. There we go. Oh, he did have 2 units of Windweaver survive, just one is all by his little lonesome. Then he kills those off for void power, builds up all of his wells and his third monument. He's going shadow here. Ultimately, he's going to get core dredge, or not core dredge, Deepcoil Wyrm, the nature variation. But he's going to get Deepcoil. And later on, he's going to combo that with Wheel of Gifts and several other cards. But he's going to do some more orb swapping here before too awful long. I think he's going to get rid of the shadow or the fire and build back nature. As he goes ahead and moves down to take these power wells, blasts away with his fire drakes until he manages to catch the ire of a bandit gunner, which is going to take out, I think, 5 of his units total. Yeah, it took down quite a few of those Skyfire drakes. I've been calling them fire drakes, sorry. But now he's got his Deepcoil. He's going to move those over there and go ahead and finish off what he started. And with the Deepcoil in there, it's going to make this a lot easier. He's just going to pretty much breeze through this camp. Soulshatter, that certainly helps. Little crowd control on the bandit gunner so he doesn't lose the remainder of his Skyfires. And unfortunately, that bandit camp there just spawned the gunner right as he killed it, so still ended up losing some units, but nothing too important. His Stones of Torment are still holding out, teleporting and juggling those units between them. He has to go back and repair them occasionally. Furnace of Flesh is keeping the majority of his void power into his main power pool. He's at near the 1500 power mark, which is plenty of power. So really he doesn't have to worry about all of his orb swapping because it gets nullified pretty well. He has plenty of power to do it.